Thanks for joining us today on the Life Renovation Podcast, where we have conversations about faith, family, and sexuality. They are usually a little bit awkward, but always honest.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Sorry, we embrace the awkward here.
How was your weekend, Glendie?
It was good. I got to play in the dirt.
That's fun.
Played with all my pots with an S.
You didn't play with pot?
I didn't play with pot. Played with my pots. I love planting and weeding and all of those things. Those are my big stress relievers. But I think you like that too.
I love it. Yeah, I did mine on Friday. Yeah, before the weekend started. I had time and just got everything planted. It's always so fresh. And I've been going out every morning like, has it grown?
I know, right? Right. In August, we'll be like, oh, gosh, I got to water those again?
Yeah, or just rip them out because they look so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's such a, I love this time of year. Everyth's so green, growing so quickly. So, yeah.
You know, we were at the pastor's dinner that you skipped because you were in Mexico.
Yes, yeah.
And, sorry, that sounded like really, snarky.
Yeah. I think you're just jealous.
I was totally jealous, yes. So you skipped the pastor's dinner, but I was sitting with Pastor John Repsold, and he was talking about how much he likes to play in the dirt.
Yeah.
I don't think I hear guys say that very often.
Unless they're on a tractor or something, or an excavator.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, he said he likes to just get his hand in the dirt.
And stuff. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
It's like my heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of John, we had him recently on our
podcast.
Yeah, and I just really appreciated it.
Oh, yeah.
Just his approach to entering into conversations about anything.
Right.
He talked about, how many kids does he have?
He's got 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About raising his kids, and just as a family, how he encouraged his children to just have the conversation. Even like in high school, junior high, just enter in and have it. And you don't have to be an expert, but don't shy away from the conversations. And I just really appreciated that. And I felt a little convicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't want to lose friends. I don't want to, conflict is hard. I don't think anybody is like, oh, I love conflict, I'm going to go find some conflict today.
Right.
But
Well, they might be after this podcast.
Maybe.
So, not that we want you to find conflict, but we are going to talk about having hard conversations today because it's not something that we do well in our society. And we know that it divides people in a really big way. So we want to give you some tips and tools to have conversations about hard topics with civility and compassion for other people.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how this started and came about?
Yeah. So we created about 5-6 years ago a workshop. We call it Unexamined Life, but we really examine life, choice, and abortion. And what we discovered is these are hard conversations. You were in our clinic for many, many years having hard conversations with our clients about pregnancy. And we realized that as they're struggling to decide what they do with their pregnancy, and we were trying not to manipulate them into a decision, that we were hearing just hard things and hard situations that those are just hard to have conversations about. And so let me be really clear. Life Services Spokane is the organization that sponsors the Life Renovation Podcast. And we are a faith-based, Christ-centered organization. We do not refer for or provide abortion. But we also come alongside people without manipulating them. And so we know our clients were having those conversations. But then as we were presenting in churches what we do and many of the public events, we realized that people who are not facing unplanned pregnancy have a hard time talking about unplanned pregnancy and life and choice and abortion. Yep. And it like conversation stops.
Yeah.
This is a hang up for people to be able to talk about really big things. And so the conversation today is going to center around life, choice, and abortion as the topic where you can have as the example topic where we want to show you that you can actually have a civil conversation with people. And so a lot of that came out of a workshop that we designed and started teaching about 5 years ago. We teach it within the church. We teach it to the public. We currently call it Unexamined Life, but it really is an examination of life and choice and abortion and how that impacts people's lives.
Yeah, that's good. It really it helped me feel more equipped. And it also reassured me that I don't need to be the expert. I can just be curious with people and ask good questions, enter in, So I really appreciated that
Yeah.
workshop. Still do.
Yeah, so we start that workshop with 2 definitions. We help people agree, and these are actually just definitions out of dictionary.com. So if they disagree, well, okay, call up dictionary.com.
Yeah.
But we help people agree on 2 different definitions. The first one is acceptance, which we know just means to receive as is. It has to do with the person and receiving them as the human being that they are. And then approval.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is
to agree with
Yep.
somebody. And so it has to do with our beliefs, our opinions, or an action. So this kind of gives us the question, do I have to approve of someone's beliefs or their opinions in order to accept them?
which
no.
we know them.
Yeah.
The obvious
Yeah.
answer is no. No, we can love people right where they're at, accept people right where they're at, without having to approve of them, and which is a really big deal in our cancel culture.
It is, yeah. If you don't agree with me, I'm done with you.
Right?
It's kind of how it goes today.
Yeah. And so we want to help people step beyond that with really hard conversations and be civil with each other. I remember you and I think you and I taught the very first one. We had 2 or 3 churches pulled together in a rural area, and we taught it to some of the people in their congregation, and the pastor was there. And when we walked in the door, we loved this little area, loved these churches, but the pastor said, I've been telling these people that they're sacrificing children on the altar.
Yeah.
And we both went, whoo, okay, if you're telling your congregation that, there's going to be impact, and it might not be impact that actually draws people into the conversation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, do you remember he texted me afterwards?
Yeah. We taught the workshop, and then later that evening he texted you and thanked you.
Yeah, and thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanked both of us just for helping give him language to actually have the conversation and draw people in. He realized, he said something like using language like sacrificing babies on an altar actually could really trigger people that had trauma in their background or had experienced abortion. So
Yeah. It was a real light bulb moment.
Yeah,
And
it
he just didn't know. Like,
He didn't know what
his
he
heart
didn't
was
know.
right. Like, yeah, but just the words that he used to talk about it
Yep.
could really shut people down if they'd had that experience. So, yeah, and these touchy topics, I think when we get into them, I know for me, I can feel my heart speed up. I can feel my breathing quicken. And it's like I don't know how to put my thoughts into words and connect that. And so it really affects my ability to process in the moment. So, like you said, we're going to use one of the hardest topics to talk about today, and that's abortion. And we're going to start by just laying out some tips.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is your heart pounding right now?
Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, because we teach this a lot, but it's hard. I wouldn't say that we're the experts in it. So.
No.
Okay, well, we're going to lay out our tips from our workshop. And the first one that we suggest is using questions, not statements, leading into the conversation with questions. Most gentlemen I know lead with statements, and that's not trying to be sexist or anything like that. I just know that guys are usually pretty certain and confident in what they say, and so they'll lead with a statement. I know a lot of people, I'm a very type A. I'll lead with statements, and statements can often shut people down. They shut down the conversation, especially if you are not a very direct person. But questions draw people out. They draw people into the conversation, and that's what we want to do. We want to invite people into the conversation. So when talking about life choice and abortion, you can use questions like, what is a person? I'd love to know. Just tell me what you think, what your definition of a person is. When they come back with something like, well, they're not a person until they're self-aware, you can just continue with questions. So tell me, what makes a person aware? What makes an embryo or a fetus aware? When does self-awareness start? Why should somebody's value be grounded in self-awareness? So turning their statements into questions. And then our second tip is we want to recommend that you win the person, not the argument. We get to walk alongside people in this life. And so anytime we come in with any language where they're going to feel attacked, again, it's going to shut down the conversation. You can attack ideas, but not people. all people, we believe, were created in the image of God. We are the imago Dei. So win the person, not the argument. And that's a mindset going into the conversation before you even start.
Yeah, I think that, I know for me, sometimes if I have a belief or an opinion about an idea and the person doesn't believe the same way, I can just shift what I'm thinking about that to them. And it's like, there's just still a person.
Right?
Their beliefs aren't what gives them value.
Exactly.
Like their value doesn't change. So that's a good one. Number 3 for our tips is keep the main thing the main thing. And it can be so easy when emotions are high and I'm having trouble processing to get caught in the weeds. And before I know it, I'm arguing about something that wasn't even the main idea. And so in this topic of abortion, the main point is pure and simple, and it's that it's morally wrong to intentionally end the life of a human being. And so just keeping it at that, not going into the weeds on different things. Just keep the main thing the main thing. And it's okay to bring it back to that.
Yep, that's so good. This one, number 4, be kind. And it's crazy that we actually have to put that in as one of our tips. But every time we teach this, we see people go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the norm anymore. If you work in any kind of public sector, in fact, we were out to dinner recently at a Red Robin, and our waiter was running around like crazy, and we made some comment to him because he'd messed up our order, and he said, it's okay, I'll get it done, I'll get it done. We said, oh, we're not angry. And he goes, well, I have to keep people happy because people are always angry at me. And I thought that was so sad for a waiter, that's his everyday, is just navigating and people's anger at him. So be kind. Yeah. We never want to embarrass the person we're talking with. So
yeah, it's not okay to put them down. It ties back to point number 2, when the person, not the argument, this person in front of you still has value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then lastly is ask this person about their story, because there's always a reason, and it has to do with this person's story, for why they believe what they do. Especially in this topic, people come across very strongly. They're very certain of their beliefs, and there's usually a reason. So being curious, not so much about just their opinion, but the reason behind why they think that the way they do is really important. And it is, it's a bridge to bring people together just by asking them about their experiences.
Yeah. And I love that you use the word bridge. So I'm just going to give one final tip. Just to think, and this isn't official, but if we truly believe that Jesus is the Savior of the world and that we are his hands and feet and sometimes the voice to the world, sometimes these really hard conversations can be incredible bridges into conversations about faith. So they can actually become evangelistic type conversations where we're sharing, or we have an opportunity to take the conversation further into Jesus. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. You ready for this?
Nope. You asked me that earlier. My answer is still the same.
So we're going to do some role playing.
Yeah.
And the reason we role play, especially in hard conversations, and we would recommend this for you, with somebody who's safe, maybe a best friend or a spouse or somebody that you're really close to, where you can have a safe conversation. Role play the way you would phrase some of these questions or even how you'd enter into a conversation about a topic. But our hearts gets pounding when we have to navigate these conversations. And when we do it once, we get the jitters out. And sometimes we can put the comments or the thoughts or the questions that we do want to include when we're in the actual moment, I call them back pocket questions. We can just put them back there and keep them until it comes up. So that's all part of role playing.
Yeah.
You get to be, well, I almost said the bad guy. I don't want it to feel like the bad guy.
Bad guy over here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No.
so how do you want to do this? Do you want to set this up?
Yeah, let me set this up.
I can't remember what we decided.
Well, let me set this up because
Okay.
this is actually a conversation I've had recently.
Yeah.
So where there was somebody that I was talking to who believed in abortion, but not for herself.
Okay.
And so, so we're going to set this up. Emily is going to be the person who actually thinks abortion should be okay, and I'm going to be the person who is defending life. So the situation is someone who finds out where we work and starts talking about abortion. So we're just going to leave it loose like that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Hi, Em. How are you?
Hi, I'm great.
Yeah. So you saw me out at the booth for Life Services the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I didn't really know what Life Services, what they do. And then I kind of learned a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great work, that you do for people,
Oh.
helping people.
Yeah, we love doing what we do, walking alongside people. We get to have really hard conversations, and it all starts with our medical clinic. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know if you've known anybody else who's worked at a pregnancy center or taught about life choice and abortion. Mm-hmm. So, how'd that feel for you to talk to our team?
Well, I think that you're doing really great work, but I do think that you aren't really giving women all of their choices, access to all of their choices. And so, yeah, I think the work that you are doing is great, but I think there could be more.
Okay. Are you okay if we have a conversation about this?
Sure.
I mean,
yeah,
we're
thanks for
friends.
asking. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sometimes these conversations can go south really fast. So can I just make sure that, we agree we're going to be friends at the end of this conversation?
Okay, yes.
Even if we agree to disagree?
Yes.
Okay. So you said you have concerns that maybe we don't give everybody all the options. What do you know about what we do? Or what do you...
Well, I know that you help moms and dads if they want to parent, and you provide a lot of resources. And I learned that you do have a boutique, which is amazing, so people can come and get baby clothes and diapers and wipes and all that. But I know that you don't refer for abortion or do abortions at your clinic.
Yeah, we don't. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're a faith-based organization, and that's not the only reason. Most of the people who work at our organization are medical, a big majority of them, and have seen face-to-face what's actually happening with what a mom is pregnant with. So let me ask, can I just ask you, what are your opinions on abortion? I know that's a big question.
Yeah, that is. And I know, for me, I would never choose it. I couldn't do that. But I just think there are circumstances where, medically, it's the most compassionate choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more medically.
So, if a woman finds out she's pregnant and then the doctor gives her the news after an ultrasound that baby's brain isn't forming or something, why make her go through with that if the baby's going to die after she delivers? It's just it's the compassionate thing to do.
Such a hard situation that you just described. You okay if I keep asking questions? Mm-hmm. Just want to clarify kind of where we agree, what kind of common ground we can find. So when a mom is pregnant, what is she pregnant with, in your understanding?
A baby. I know it's a baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what point? That's, you and I both know that can be a really touchy topic. When does life begin? So what would your opinion be? At what point does that baby become a human baby?
I think it is a human baby from the beginning, but I think if the baby isn't forming correctly and there's no chance for life, then you really need to do the compassionate thing. So if my loved one got in a car accident and was put on life support, I would and there's no chance that person would continue to survive without the life support, I would probably pull the plug on them. I mean, that just seems like the compassionate thing to do. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it.
Okay. I can't imagine being in that situation, right, with a loved one. I know a mama has to feel pretty torn to actually consider abortion.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, what I think I just heard you say is that it's compassionate to terminate that baby's life because you think it's a baby from the beginning. but it's the compassionate thing to terminate his or her life. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. If you believe that a baby is a baby from the very beginning, what gives that baby value?
I think because it's a life. I think just being alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what compassionate measures should be taken then for that baby?
So I guess I think like I'm thinking about the mom too because she is alive and her life matters, and so like to make her go all the way to the end of her pregnancy and then deliver, I just think that that's so hard.
Oh, I so
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. At the same time, if it's a baby and it's a mom, they're both lives, right? Is there any difference in the value between the mom's life and the baby's life, in your opinion?
Well, I guess I've never really thought about it that way.
Yeah. Can I share something with you that, and you have the right to say no, but something that I've heard taught? I've heard it taught this way, that our value really resides in our humanity as a human being from the very beginning, and that there's really only 4 differences in what's going on with us as adults versus what was going on with us when we were in our mom's womb, right?
Yeah.
And that's our size, our level of development, our environment, and our degree of dependency, how dependent we are on our mom or on other people. And so with what you're describing, you're saying that a baby who maybe hasn't reached full development and has been determined to possibly have some problems, which we don't know. I mean, you and I have both heard situations where a baby who's diagnosed with something in the womb then is born completely healthy.
Yeah.
You've heard situations like that, right?
I guess I have. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But what we're talking about is that baby's level of development isn't complete yet. And so I guess my question to you would be, why is there value to be given the right to live grounded then in their level of development?
I guess I was just like counting on the diagnosis. That it doesn't mean it doesn't have value, but the baby's not going to live.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah. But that is a good point.
Can I ask you a really hard question? I know. Do you know what happens during an abortion? Like actually during the procedure?
Not really. I've never had one. Like I said, I wouldn't choose it for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that you can take a pill and it's just like yeah, you have a period and when it's early enough. But
do you want to know? Because I mean, this is part of what I do is I get to teach this. And
well, it makes me kind of uncomfortable. But I guess like if people have to go through it, I can hear about it.
Okay.
I can learn about it.
Let me do it really briefly, and I'll try not to be graphic because I do know that it's a hard thing to listen to. During the pill, it's also called a chemical abortion. The mom takes a pill, and then that actually starves the baby of basically the nutrients and any oxygen that's coming from the mom, and the baby literally is suffocated inside the mom's womb. So that's actually, they've proven that through science that that's actually what happens, and then the baby is expelled. And so we know that about 11% of mamas who take chemical abortion end up in the ER with life-threatening situations. But probably the one that concerns me even more is when you do a surgical abortion, anywhere from 10 weeks and up, the baby is either going to be suctioned out or removed from that mama's womb, and the baby will always come out in pieces, not whole.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question to you, knowing that, is you have this compassionate heart. To choose the compassionate measure, would you feel like it would be more compassionate that a mom knows her baby is coming out in pieces and never gets any closure. Oh, I don't want to like set you up if this feels like a trap, but
Yeah.
Whether that baby comes out in pieces or whole.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I've never thought it through all the way to the end, probably.
But you have compassion in this situation. Can I ask you just where that compassion comes from? Like, you have a reason for why you've thought through this.
Yeah, I know someone that had a stillborn, and she had an ultrasound at 39 weeks. They knew it was a little girl. And the next week when she had the ultrasound at 39 weeks, she knew it was a little girl, was getting ready to deliver, and then there was no heartbeat. And this was years ago, and it has wrecked her. She's never recovered.
Devastating.
So, yeah. So I think that's why I look at her and I think, well, what if this was something, if it was a different situation and baby wasn't formed correctly, like, would it be better to abort the baby earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I share with you what our OBGYN, the one that I work with, has told me? He's been working in medicine for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And he told me, I asked him how many times has he had to choose the life of the mom? And he said less than the fingers on one hand.
Yeah.
He said always. He can have a baby out in 3 minutes in cesarean section.
Yeah.
So if there's something wrong with mom or baby. But then I said, well, what about the fetal anomalies? Like when a baby, exactly what you described. And he said he has found that the compassionate measure is to give mom and dad closure. And closure comes when that baby is born whole, and he can place that baby, whether she's 14 weeks or 39 weeks, in a mom and dad's arms, allow them to grieve, and then help them find help in their grieving process.
Yeah.
And so that really moved me when I heard that from him.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Whew, we're going to stop here. Okay, breathe.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think you had the hardest part.
I know. I was stumbling a little bit. As you know, or as you can see, this is not a perfect science.
Yeah.
And there's going to be stumbling points.
Yeah. And there's one thing that I've found working at Life Services is that sometimes it's really hard to defend life. Like, people go through really hard things. I'm just going to be really honest. Like, there's a lot of gray that I've had to swim through and just figure out what I believe. But I think both of us, we can enter into how hard it is for people. You know, the circumstances they're in, the situations they're in, they're really hard.
Yeah. I think the hard ones for me have always been the relational pieces where she's tied to so-and-so and he's abusive, or, and when you hear somebody describe the situation and the really hard pieces they're in, I think it kind of captures your attention. And that's where I think the tips have come in so handy for me to, number one, win her or him, win the person, not the argument, but then bring it back, keep the main thing. I think that's what's always helped me, is remember that there's a baby involved. And that baby's life has value, even though it's a hard, cruddy situation.
Yeah. I appreciated you were gentle, and you asked like 3 times, is it okay if I ask you a question? Or would you like to hear about this? And yeah. I didn't say no because we need to keep having the conversation, but I wanted to.
I almost set you up for a question where I was like, oh, I'm actually saying her answer. And yeah. And I needed to not. But it is hard. And I think if we're willing to fumble through it and be honest with each other, then I think it's worthy of having. What other situations? And I know you have some strong opinions here that are tips for hard conversations are not just for life choice and abortion. So where else can you see us using these?
I mean, faith, family, sexuality, like so many, right, are the topics that we talk about. Things with family members that cause division. Even just like how you raise your kids, like even a married couple and how they raise their kids or how they handle finances. That can be really hard. Finances. I had a conversation the other day with someone about finances and how we handled our own finances. And it got like our emotions got high
Little
because we
tense?
were different, right? And this person came back to me and said, said a statement. You were really, what'd they say? I feel like you were really unfair. And it was just a statement, and it shut me down. And I'm thinking, like, I wasn't unfair. Like, I wasn't. And anyways, we
Wow.
regrouped because we're friends. We
Yeah.
came back around, and I just explained to this person, if you would have asked me a question, can you tell me more about why you believe this way? Because there's something else underneath it. I can tell. Can you tell me what's really going on? That would have just like opened me up and put my defenses down.
Yeah.
But a statement like you're unfair, it's like, I'm not unfair. Let me tell you why. It's just like
It brought up your
yeah,
defenses.
it did. And
Yeah.
so, and I said some things in the conversation that I wish I could go back and redo. But we're good now. You
Yeah.
know, we resolved it and grew through it. Our friendship grew. But yeah, there's just a lot of different topics. I think. I mean, politics. Oh my goodness, those are cause so much division. Religion, all these topics. But if we just keep the main thing, and we are kind and we win the person, then we can agree to disagree sometimes and
Right.
still walk away friends.
Yeah. I know one of the things that I've used, because I can't always think of a question in the moment, the statements come to mind because I know what I think and
Yeah.
I know what I believe and I'm going to state that.
Especially when you're armed with stats or something or facts.
Oh, right.
It's like,
right.
I'm going to give
know
you
it.
my knowledge.
I know it all and I'm an expert here.
Yeah.
When I have that in my mind and I know I want to enter in delicately, I will actually just use the tell me more so I can buy myself time.
Yeah.
And then on my brain, I'm like, okay, Lord, give me the questions, give me the questions, give me the questions. So,
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
yeah.
It's really good to have.
Yeah. So we're not describing anything that is easy, but some of the most beautiful processes that we enter into are the ones that we have to work at. So again, we just want to come back to encouraging you to use these tips, go back and review what we talked about, questions, not statements, win the person, not the argument, keep the main thing, be kind, ask people
their
stories.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice with people.
Practice with a really good friend that you don't agree about something.
Oh, there
And
you go.
invite them in. I mean, just like call it out. I know we don't align on this. Can we just practice talking about it?
Yeah.
Because, that's good.
The other thing I've done is I put notes in my phone. All of us have a cell phone. If you don't, I'm not sure what age you're living in, but most of us have a cell phone. And there's a notes app in almost every cell phone. And I often put notes in there, just phrases or questions that I want to lean into. So I remember.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we survived.
We did, barely.
Woo! She's sweating over
I need
here.
some air. Thanks for joining us for this conversation on how to navigate hard conversations. We will be back soon with another episode of the Life Renovation Podcast. And until then, we just ask that you share. If this helped you in any way, if you learned one thing that will help you enter into hard conversations, will you share it with family and friends? And please just follow us. It guarantees that you never miss an episode.
Yep. And until we see you next time, please know this and take this to heart. Your life is valuable and your life matters, and we love you.
Bye.
Bye.